Welcome everybody to not another reselling podcast on JacksTreasures. Our podcast normally focuses on the live portion of reselling. We don't edit, we're raw, and we don't sugarcoat or blow smoke. We try to bring you the truth about live selling.
Yep.
Our topic today is the hidden challenges that immigrant resellers face and how to beat them.
Yeah, we literally we're shifting gears a little bit, but we are going to talk about live selling in this regards. But our guest today is Roman from A Reseller's Life. He's a content creator on YouTube, and he mostly sells on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. He is on fire in Facebook Marketplace, guys. He is well respected throughout the reselling community. His videos are fun, they're educational, and they always show other resellers in a positive light, especially JacksTreasures and
Josh Galt.
Josh Galt, yeah. He is also somebody that we are super proud to call friend, and we were lucky enough to meet Roman this past summer in Ohio. Awesome. Roman, if you would please introduce yourself.
Yes, hello everyone. Most of you already, I think, are familiar with me, but if you're not, my name is Roman, which is Brian is correct so far. My channel name has changed throughout the years. I've been on YouTube probably 5 years in this particular space, reselling space. Before that, I was also doing some YouTube, but it was not about reselling. So now my channel name is Reseller Life. Some people actually got confused by the numbers next to Reseller Life 7, which is Reseller Life 78, but it's not. It's just a tag that comes along, as you guys familiar, and I cannot change it because there are a lot of Reseller Lives out there on YouTube. Yes. So when I chose the name, I got it wrong.
At least 74 of them, right?
There is at least 77.
Yeah, 77. That's
it's right. Funny because I've always tagged a lot of our videos #reseller life just because that's what it is. So it's kind of tagging you in a way, but I'm not going to stop doing it.
No. Right. Well, let me ask you a question then. First off, why did you change your YouTube channel name from Roman's Adventures to Reseller Life?
That was actually, I think, my choice was not actually a good choice to change it to Reseller Life, but now that I thought about it more, I think it is kind of good the way I like to do stuff. Why I changed it? Because I think that adventures, I was thinking it's like not specifically associated with reselling, or like in its own way. Like it would be, if it would be reselling adventures, maybe it would be kind of I would say no, kind of not similar to what everyone is kind of doing, but it would kind of associate with reselling or something that we do. But then I kind of was thinking, before originally I was anytime picker originally, and that was like for probably 2.5 years, 3 years maybe, and then I didn't like picker. In Russian, it's like it's not associated with like stuff that you pick stuff like to sell. In Russian, it's kind of more like you pick up women.
So, I got you. I got you.
I was like, nothing against different, wording, but that's like different translations in a way, and like people kind of think about it. And I was like, I don't want to be picker anymore. It's so bullshit.
I'm curious. I'm curious. Is your wife Russian too?
She's not. She's mostly like she's Ukrainian in a way, but she's from Moldova. So she's like you see the issue is like if you think about it, people from different parts, which we're gonna discuss a little bit. It's kind of a long discussion, so I don't want to spread it for a long time. Like people like with so many nationalities from that part of the world, that like here, same way as here, because a lot of people are mixed here. So it's hard to say exactly like specifically which part and which nationality. So everyone here is kind of convenient. They call it themselves Americans. So nobody's gonna specifically ask you, are you from Eastern Europe originally, because everyone is kind of, immigrant except Native Americans. So like you're not gonna go and ask each person specifically like Do you remember where your great grandparents came from and what nationality they were? So that's kind of gets into this kind of position sometimes where in the United States it's like firm that if you're a citizen, you're American, right? So like in other parts of the world, it's kind of different depending on where exactly you are. Like some people are curious and it gets like people don't need to answer it. Nowadays it's a little bit different, so that's why it's like you see the differences. Everyone kind of assumes that if you speak Russian language, that you're Russian right away. It's not actually never been the case because there were so many different nationalities in former Soviet Union and before it fell apart that everyone was first language was Russian all over the place. So everyone had to learn Russian. So kind of now when Soviet Union fell apart in the 90s, early 90s,
right.
Each country that separated, they had to implement their original historical kind of presence and with their language. So Russian became still was main language, but at the same time they started to implement their own original type of original language. Like Ukrainians, they would speak. From Ukraine. Ukraine itself had Ukrainian language, so like they had to speak Ukrainian. Like Belarus was Belarusian. So it's like Uzbekistan, where I'm from, they have their own Uzbek language. So it's like everyone like had like in any other Eastern Europe country or European country, they had their own language, and everyone speaks English.
Well, the reason why I asked is because was it you that didn't want Picker or your wife? Because she don't want you going out there picking up all them women.
Yeah, no, it's not that. It's just I thought it's actually, you know, why I chose Anytime Picker originally, because my friend, one of my close friends here, who is also an immigrant from Ukraine, actually, he has a business and he does photography. So his business was Anytime Photo, or I think it was Anytime Photography, something like this. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, it's kind of nice because the way he was thinking about it, like he will do this business anytime. Like, and in reseller kind of sense, it makes sense because we work anytime. So that's why I kind of chose. And Anytime Picker was like everyone was kind of a lot of channels for Picker or Flipper.
Pickers and flippers.
Now you do believe this, right? You don't believe that it was Anytime Pickers because Roman was out there hitting the nightlife out there in Cleveland, and his wife put the thumb down on him.
I believe Roman. It's funny. I actually followed you on Instagram for years before I realized you were on YouTube. You were just the guy that always posted the funny stuff on Instagram.
Very controversial.
And Facebook.
Yeah, and Facebook nowadays, actually. Controversial stuff, but I'm one of the people, if you guys already know, you guys know me. A lot of people that have been in the community for a while also know me, but I don't mean anything bad with it. It's just my personality. I cannot live without it. Like, I have to do this stuff. Otherwise, I don't feel good. Like, it's kind of something inside me tells me you have to, like, do it. So it's like, I cannot stay away. But like lately, I was choosing like specifically something that I haven't done before, like something that's more kind of on the point about something. Like before, I would post a lot of weird stuff. Now it's kind of less weird. But I mean, I like it, and I know I'm not getting anything from it. Like, see, social media, I guess, as you've learned already, it's kind of the way it works. It's unbelievable. Like there is so many people on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and some other social media platforms that create so many different reels and videos, and everyone is trying to earn some money. But now with the reselling space, originally there were not so many channels back in before COVID, like 2018. I watched some channels, but not so many, and that's why
not ours. And we were on, but not ours. Exactly. Nobody was watching ours.
And I mean, I didn't think about it. And to tell you the truth, guys, that it was interesting to kind of watch some content, but I was not, in a sense, I was thinking, is it needed? It's kind of fun. And then, I didn't want to create content like everyone else does. So I was kind of thinking, what should I do? Like something different. And that way my brain works is like, I cannot do the same stuff. Like you see some content creators do like similar type of video,
Right.
similar type of time. I mean, same time, same day. I cannot function like this because I don't know why I can't.
It's no worries.
I think you have
cannot
to have your
explain.
own style.
You have to be you. That's the one thing that I always tell anybody, especially even with live reselling. The people will ask me, they say the one thing about live reselling is you have to be you. You cannot be somebody else. It won't work if you're trying to be somebody else, or if you're trying to imitate somebody else, or you're trying to be like them, or whatever it may be. It does not come across. It comes off as fake, and you will not get the followers, and you will not get the success that others have had.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true because you guys have done live selling. You like it. You do storage units like I am. Actually, I'm looking at storage units right now that I may. We'll see how it's gonna go, man. You last month, I was bidding on a unit, and then I won it, and the owner paid for it.
Before you got there, yeah.
Yeah,
we've
before I
had
got
that.
there, I was like already leaving. I was like happy leaving, and all of a sudden I got email that the auction was canceled because owner paid. And then I
Yeah.
got into facility. I'm like talking to because I know the employee already very good. So I'm like, what happened? And she's like, that's it. They paid for it.
Well, we bought our first unit 10 years ago. Our first 3 units 10 years ago. The day before Thanksgiving, I told him I want to buy one the day before Thanksgiving this year in celebration.
I told her I got COVID. Don't you even think about it.
Oh, yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah. If I do.
But this is our section called Real Talk Q&A. It's where we ask the tough questions for our guests and hopefully gain some knowledge.
Yep. Before we start with the reselling questions, I wanted to ask some questions about being an immigrant. And my first question is what country are you originally from?
Originally, I'm from Uzbekistan, which is located in Central Asia, in between Afghanistan and Kazakhstan. So it's like sandwich in between. And it was part of Soviet Union for a very long time, from when Soviet Union became Soviet Union in 1917 up to when it fell apart in 1991. So Uzbekistan was like a country where there was like, a lot of people who during the war, World War II, World War One, they kind of were went there to escape the war, and there was a lot of people from different countries. So it was like country itself was kind of unique, and it's historical, and it's still very historical. Like, and that's where I'm from. Originally from city is called Tashkent, which is capital of Uzbekistan. So it's a big city with a lot of population. Now it's kind of going into like very high technology type of direction now. It's very like advanced, and Uzbekistan itself is a very historical. You can read up if anyone is interested. Google is your friend. You can read up and watch YouTube videos, and you can go to search Uzbekistan, search Tashkent, see the culture, food, which is amazing. Like I make that food also, but the food is just amazing. Like it's very delicious. It's like traditional ethnic type of food, like with different types of flavors. It's kind of hard to explain until you try it in reality, but that's where I'm originally.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt. When did you come to America?
Came to America in 1993.
Okay.
And I was 13 years old. Still remember, because now I'm 47, but my brother, who is 9 years older than me, he's always pointing out, like I tell him, I'm like, that's it, I'm 47, I'm old, and he's like, no, no, no. Not
You're
old
not
yet.
old,
No,
Roman.
it's like
I'm older than your brother. Okay.
he's,
So
he's,
no, you are a young man.
He's older than me.
I
Wow.
know
Just
it's
barely.
Wow,
Just
really?
barely. Just
Really?
barely. I'm
just a
46.
You
little
have
bit.
to insult our guests like that? Roman's gonna leave if you keep doing
All
all
right,
of
that's
that.
it. Me and Labubu are leaving, guys. Labubu, let's go. No, guys, me, Labubu, and Enaman are leaving.
Oh my gosh.
First intimate appearance on the
Yeah,
podcast.
guys,
I
yeah.
love it.
Why not?
You know,
Hey,
Enaman,
I get
guys.
to use Kevin as a tagline. I'm gonna do it now. It's gonna be in the title.
Guys, Enaman is from Uzbekistan also. I saw him there back in the day in the 90s. Do you remember that?
Well,
Yeah.
what was the single biggest challenge that you had to overcome when you came to America?
Well, for me, guys, it wasn't as much of a challenge as for many immigrants' parents that immigrated from different parts of Soviet Union back in 80s, 90s. Before that, I think the biggest challenge was for them, and still is actually, because see, I always when I did the live, I kind of reversed the roles. Like if you immigrated from United States to some other country, it's gonna be
Yeah.
always challenging to learn the language of that particular
Absolutely.
country and try to figure out your place over there, like what type of job you can get and stuff like that, what type of
Hmm.
place you can go to learn their language and stuff. But I think biggest challenge for me personally is to live there. For example, at my young age, still at that time at 13,
Hmm. Yeah.
was a lot of friends, man, that I made throughout since I was literally a little kid, and it was kind of interesting. Even though you think like 13 years is not that much, but it's kind of a lot, and you
Oh God, yeah,
I
yeah.
had a lot of friends in school over there. Like they were kind of at the time interested, like why am I leaving? And at the time, it was our relatives actually were
Hmm.
here, and I'm Jewish by religion, so
Hmm.
they kind of a lot of Jewish people were leaving certain places, like certain countries, because of certain issues over there. Because the differences, of course, is always going to be discrimination of some sort, and it
Hmm.
happens here all the time too. But it was a little bit different over there with how it was handled. So the challenges for me personally was like friends and people who I literally went to school with from like kindergarten even, and
Right.
then coming here, it was to begin. For me, it was kind of I adapted like really fast in a way because I
Mm.
made new friends here who were also immigrants, and at the time we went all to the same school, so it was kind of you see them, you kind of met them. They were from different parts of Soviet Union, and the challenge in reality was always for the parents and all the immigrant kids who came at that particular era from like 90s.
Hmm.
Some of the parents, of course, thanks to them, they had much of a challenge because language, they could not speak English at all. Then
Right. Right.
they learned. It was very difficult to find a job, which they learned. Like they all graduated with some kind of degrees over there, and coming here, because I can tell from my dad, I may he rest in peace. I mean, he like was like very hard work. He was an engineer over there, and
Right.
he fixed cars and stuff like that. Worked on a lot of projects, and when he came here, he worked like 4 jobs, and he was at the time he was actually my age. He was
Right.
47 when he came. So like it was challenging, I remember he was very tired and stressed, and to make money, even though it was different type of United States back then in the early 90s.
Oh yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Right.
it
Yeah.
was completely different compared to what's happening now. So
Yeah.
for him it was, and for my mom, I mean, they still tried to make our lives the best because they understood how tough it is. Because anytime you move to another any country, it's always tough because the language and traditions and all the stuff that they have to do to make money, and thanks to them, because a lot of people nowadays, all the immigrant kids are now my age, have their own kids, and
Right.
their kids now are all kind of, they don't have the challenges like that because they're all speaking English. They're kind of speaking their own language.
Now, you have children also, right?
I have a son, yeah.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
he's 17. Yeah, he literally speaks English, and he understands Russian, but he mostly speaks English, and he will speak Russian sometimes, even though I battle with him all the time to for him to speak more Russian. But he does. I mean, now that he's older, but still, I
Yeah.
mean, but that's understandable, Brian and Tracy. That's like,
It is definitely something that happens. My grandfather was from the Ukraine, or the Ukraine area. Of course, we're talking about the early 1900s here. So there was a lot of flux going on with all of that. And he could speak Ukrainian when he came over. And he taught a little bit to my father, and my father could speak a little bit of it. I can't speak a word of it. And that's just part of that assimilation that
Right.
happens when things like that happen.
I was going to say something similar. My first husband, his mother was from Korea, and him or his brother, neither one learned a word of Korean.
And my best friend when I was growing up, his name is Tom. His father was from Puerto Rico. His mother was from Cuba.
Oh my!
His father didn't speak any English, or very, very little. His mom definitely did, but my friend Tom can't speak a word of Spanish. I mean, not a
I
word.
think that's fairly normal. That
Yeah.
That's what
Now,
happens, and
yeah.
I can tell you there are so many, because there are definitely, this country was built on immigrants, and it's kind of from generation to generation. You can sometimes tell, like I see guys at the bins all the time that they all actually have that I talk to, because they know I'm originally from Uzbekistan stuff. But I mean, they all have some kind of roots from Eastern Europe, from somewhere. Like some
Right.
from Croatia, some from Serbia, some from Hungary, some from Italy. Like, and all some speak their like a little bit of their language, so they have some kind of.
Mine might have been Hungarian too. I don't even remember anymore. I mean, I'm just trying to be totally honest. I really don't know about it and stuff. My brothers will probably comment in the thing down there below if they ever watch and say, "Yeah, you got that completely wrong, jackass." One last question about this part is: do you ever feel the urge to go back to Uzbekistan?
No, just to visit. My brother actually went numerous times already, like just to hang out. It's you have to actually make good money now, to tell you the truth, to go back and live there, because their
Mhm.
prices now over there are even higher than here. Like,
Oh,
Oh
wow.
wow!
yeah, it's like they got really good economy. They got everything that when I was there, it's completely changed. It's like right now, Uzbekistan is now like at the ranks where it's like European countries. So like some European countries are different from each other in terms of like in terms of incomes and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
realistically, completely like different country now. It's like it was rebuilt. Is they have a lot of buildings that are high tech, and even some higher kind of skyscrapers. So they kind of in a good type of economy in a way. Also, so people over there, they it's like you cannot compare it to certain times right now because it's changed. But no urge to live there, because there is no point. I mean, you can have a business there. People that come here sometimes, they will open businesses, say in former,
Mhm.
like say Russia somewhere, like say like Ukraine. Well, Ukraine now is a war, but like other parts, because of everything that's going on with Russia and Ukraine now. So it's like business wise, if you want to have some kind of business over there, yeah, you can do open a small office and do your business over there from here, or the other way. So it's like people who are like investing There are a lot of people that I know, even immigrants, that have invested large amounts of money. They don't play like smaller type of games like I do with reselling. It's completely like it's a different level altogether because and we're gonna talk about it maybe if you guys want a little bit with reselling itself. Like there is a barrier, and I discussed it on the video also about what was happening recently. And
Right.
Josh Galt, who is very respectful person, that's like there are people, as you guys already learned, that are providing content with specific. You can tell from how they talk. Josh Galt is very straightforward, very polite, respectful, understands specific business models of each individual reseller or structure, and he in his videos usually I watched that last video that he made, and he was on point. It's just realistic. I mean, reality is there. It's just uniqueness of each specific individual of how they do their business is different. That's like if the person wants to do what they like to do and it brings them money and some kind of joy at least, because my kind of understanding to that particular situation, as in any reseller type of business, is that if you're making money to pay the bills and have some money that you can, have extra money to put away and invest into something else and, enjoy your life, then that person is it is okay. I mean, they don't need to go back to 9 to 5 job and like try to be miserable sometimes, thinking about it like, oh, why am I not doing what I'm trying to achieve, right? If even if
Mhm.
it doesn't, compare to some kind of jobs they may do or some kind of skill, because a lot of people, which is reality, like they either graduated with certain degree or don't have that particular degree or like at certain age. So it's like, what do you think? Like you're gonna change up to something that you probably have never done before at certain age and try to learn the new skill, and then try to get a different job that may not pay you much. So it's always consideration in a way
Mhm.
of how business is done, and that's why a lot of resellers do different things. That's why when that particular individual, I don't want to name him, was talking about certain business structures, that is fine. I mean, the way he presented it was very kind of selfish in a way, like you can tell by just how he was talking, and it's very selfish. Like he only thinks that he is so powerful, and that's like his idea is like the best out there. Like you present something and you're like so proud that everyone else should follow same
Right.
advice.
Right.
And that's how but you're looking at Josh Galt, he made it straightforward, but in a way where you understand what it is exactly without
Mhm.
being too, you know, like narcissistic or having some kind of ego that I don't
Right.
love myself so much that everyone else has to do the same, you know. So that's what it
Right.
is. So that's why the video that I made was originally the first one that I pointed out that it's like, what is he talking about? People can follow their own business model, and it's fine for someone to have an opinion, but don't like bring it out in a way like put out the content like it's like I love myself so much that I'm like doing it.
Right.
Everyone else should do that.
Well, we better get going with this podcast. Otherwise, me and Roman are going to be on here for about 2 or 3 hours.
Or for 10 hours, man, 44 minutes.
I hit about an hour and I gotta run.
Yeah.
I'm not good at stand still.
Yeah.
Right.
How did you get started reselling? We ask this to everybody.
Yeah.
Oh man, reselling. I originally was, well, my background is when I started working here at the company, I was selling computers on the phone. It was, if Brian probably, Trace, you probably remember, it was back in late 90s. I worked for a company. They were selling computers using Computer Shopper. So if you guys remember, there was this catalog with computers, like bunch of computers, different prices. And the company I worked for, which is actually big shout out to a lot of immigrants from different parts of Soviet Union that came to this country and opened up their own computer stores. So they didn't even like at the time it was easier because everything was kind of cheaper in rent. So like they opened up their computer stores and they would like buy. At the time it was easier to buy bulk inventory, so they would buy it from different manufacturers of certain computer parts. Intel, there were a bunch of like Asus, Abit. There was so many brands, and my first job was I was hired. I was they put me in RMA. Like RMA, guys, it's like return merchandise. So it's like
Okay.
people would like call. At the time there was no internet, so everything was done on
Wait, but hold on. What do you mean no internet? No, we're not going back to the Stone Age. You're not that old, my friend.
Everyone was confused already. Like, how is that possible? But that was 1998 at the time when I started the job. Actually, earlier, 97. So 97, that was my job at that one computer company. Then I went to another. Then, like, at the time, it was interesting that I was later on, I was building computers already, uh, learning about different types of computers, servers, and stuff like that, operating system. So then I was on the phone doing customer service and also did sales. And that's why I kind of thought, man, they're making like at the time, like prices were different, but they were making good profits, really much better profits than we're making on a lot of things nowadays. It was much better profits. So I was like, can I, can I do it on my own maybe? So at the time, me and my friend, we were both in sales. So we kind of talked about it, and he's like, let's do trade shows, like flea markets, and we would get merchandise from computer companies, and they will give it to us as a consignment. So they would give us we wouldn't have money to buy merchandise, but we would do it as a consignment. So we would go to different cities. We'll call the companies that did those trade shows back in the day at different places, like all over United. Actually, mostly on the East Coast, but they already were doing them in like. I would say Midwest, a little bit closer to California, but we didn't, of course, drive there. So we would only drive around states like Pennsylvania, Illinois, Indiana, West Virginia, Tennessee.
For those of you that don't know, Roman lives in Cleveland. So he's up the northern part of Ohio. So that's why he goes to those old areas right there.
Right. So we started going on consignment, and we would pay for tables. Like at the time, it was similar to flea market. So we would like get a space, put our banner, like you guys have Mr. Jack behind you, with a phone number. Phone number. At the time, there was no website yet. There was phone number and something else. I don't remember. And people will just they will do show like trade shows, so they will advertise on TV. But back in the day, they will advertise on TV, not on internet. So that was kind of a time everyone who's watching who kind of like no internet. How the hell did they advertise? They did advertising on TV. So they will advertise on TV. People would come over. It would mostly be in either like civic center or some kind of like a big type of barn or something, and they did it at different places. And we would go set up tables and just start selling. And people would come over. You talk to customers, buyers. They would come over and they will be. Some would haggle as you do in a garage sales. So I learned all that stuff already for many years, and that's how I grew into reselling. At that point of time, of course, on a lot of different failures. It didn't happen like I succeeded right away. It didn't happen that way because every time I had partners in business also a couple times, it was something always something happening, which is what happens in business. So eventually I started when I started selling on eBay, which was I think 2002. And it was at the time I was selling, me and my friend, another friend, we would sell cell phone accessories like cases
Okay.
for cell phones. Like at the time there weren't so many phones, so it was just cases, and people were buying them because they
Oh
were like,
yeah.
we found some suppliers actually back. I think it was 2002, 2003, and we would buy like boxes of them and sell them, put them on eBay. And then, unfortunately, my good friend, he passed away very early. He was 21,
Oh
and
my gosh,
Sorry to hear
that's
that.
awful.
yeah, and it was very devastating. It was horrible, because I just saw him day before. He was fine, and that's it. That's how life is, man. That's what kind of made, throughout the years, you get this thing that happens in life. Life is unpredictable. So, and then it grew into eBay. Then eventually, like, I would sell on eBay mostly cell phone accessories and computer parts because I'm familiar with that. And then
Right.
eventually, throughout the years, I did other side hustles. I did computer repair, data recovery, which is very unique field. Still do it.
Yeah.
And me and my partner, again, different partner, we got a store. Like, we rented a place to do data recovery and also sell some computer parts. And then
Mhm.
this partner, that's why I said in my videos, you partnerships is very, very difficult. Like, husband and wife teams, family is much more, in a way, cannot really fall apart unless it's something
Right.
drastic. Compared,
Oh, believe me, they can't.
they can, they
We
can.
not
Not
us, but
us.
like if I don't do business with my relatives. I don't like selling to my relatives.
Don't want to buy from
I don't want to
them.
buy from them because it's just something that to me can definitely lead to a jealousy or an animosity. Like, oh, I gave you that for, yeah, you gave it to me and you said you could resell it. Yeah, but you made $1,000 on it. And I'm like, well, that's what somebody bought it for. And now they want something. And so I try not to do anything with family and stuff like that. But I mean, with me and Tracy, it's so much easier because, and we fight still, and we have
Yeah.
two different business models all together.
We do.
For the longest time, we definitely had to. That's why we have two different stores. She's got an eBay account and I have an eBay account. You
And
know,
I have two eBay stores right now, and I had them for a while. One is niche down to specifically computer stuff and some like electronics, and the other one is everything store. And nowadays I'm like all over the place, like in my life, like in my YouTube, like in social media. It's like I
like on this
cannot,
podcast.
like on the
You,
I
you, you
cannot.
know, you made a mistake by telling Brian here that you know a lot about computers, because every time we get a big computer haul in a storage unit, he's going to be sending you pictures. He's going to be asking
Brian,
questions.
no,
I know
no,
this already.
that,
I know him.
Mr. Jack's been getting on me to sell this stuff. What do you want me to do?
all right, Mr. Jack is calling. Mr. Jack, okay, we got a deal. Brian gave me a different price, more higher. So, Mr. Jack, we got a deal with you. I'm not gonna pay that much. No, but I can.
It sounds really great how we ask that question of every one of the people that we have on the podcast, and it is so awesome to hear how they get started in it. And we've had them say flea markets. I've been around flea markets the whole time. My dad did flea markets. One of them, two of them were auctioneers. Their parents were literally auctioneers, and they get into reselling that way. Another one all about yard sales. They get into yard sales. Mine, necessity. I got a divorce. I needed to eat. I like to eat. Okay. And so I had to start selling the stuff that I had around my house.
And mine was Beanie Babies.
Yep. Tracy's was Beanie Babies.
Those are very important products.
What's
Right,
the biggest
Labubu?
challenge? What's the biggest challenge you face as an immigrant starting in reselling, and how did you push past it? I mean, I know that there's an accent, obviously. I mean, yeah. Okay.
We all have
But
accents.
yeah, oh, definitely. So, I mean, what was your biggest challenge being an immigrant and starting in reselling? And then how did you push past that?
At that time, I actually, my dad wanted me to go to college all the way, which I didn't. Sorry, Dad. Dad is listening to me from heaven. Uh,
Mm,
I had a very strict dad, actually. He was a very strict guy, but had a lot of different things like that he could do. Multi-talented, multi-skilled. So, like me too,
right.
I'm at the same way. But I can tell you that the challenge was like to find myself, like what do I like, and I didn't know, like after I graduated high school, like one of my cousin is a doctor anesthesiologist, man, and for the
Mhm.
hospital for many years, and another cousin is a doctor, and I'm like, I have this kind of side also, that I like this medical stuff, but
Mhm.
I didn't go into it at all. So that's why when challenges were kind of language wise at the time, I already spoke, I mean, at least somewhat good English in a way, with very bad accent. but but I mean, selling stuff, it wasn't an issue. Like face to face, that would kind of, I have to give shout out to one of another immigrant who taught me like
Yeah, go ahead.
how to. He is already much older than me, but he was such a great salesperson face to face. He can sell you like, he will present something, man, and it's like one thing you sell online and people like send you offers, you don't see them face to face, or
Mhm.
like whatever platform you sell on, and people just look at the pictures and description. He would like describe to, like, people would come over, buyers at that flea market, and he will show and explain, even with his accent too, all the stuff, and present it in a way where people would buy it, man. Like he didn't need to work so hard, because he could present it in a way like a great salesperson, and people
Right.
will line up, and he would sell. I can tell you, per because we would go for 4 days. Sometimes 4 day, it was called computer show. 4 day show, some were 3 days, but 4 days I would go because you can make more money. So like
Mhm.
he per day, he would sell like sometimes 15 to 20 computers, and he would make really good money, like because he would get paid base amount plus commission per computer. Like I think at the time, per computer he would get like $100 commission. So
Right.
he would
Mhm.
make really good money. If he would have sold 20 computers per day, you can count. I mean, he would make really good money. So eventually I was learning from them. Like I would say, like, you have to be like, because salespeople who are face to face salespeople, they have specific talent, in my opinion. You can either be shy and walk away and like be like very like, don't say much, or you can present things, don't shut up, and like you can start talking to your buyer, and the buyer make him so comfortable from buying from you, that they will be happy with the purchase, right? Like you can
Right.
show them everything, you can present each particular component, and that's why this type of selling to me was a challenge, and I loved it. I did it. I sold computers that way, which later on, of course, changed to all this online stuff, and sales on the phone, which is another thing which I've done, selling stuff on the phone when people would not understand. Like I would tell them like on the phone, like what are you selling, and I will explain to them that's a motherboard, that type of a video card, that type of sound card, the type of processor, a memory, and people sometimes will keep like three times ask me same thing. It would be kind of challenge for me, that like, oh man, they don't understand what I'm saying. It kind of sucks, and I kind of didn't like it, but I kind of got used to it, and I didn't care much about it. It's just like you kind of go with it and go with it and go with it, and
Mhm.
it's just what happened. And now too, man, every time like people, like sometimes I'll talk to people like sometimes, but nobody would say like, "Oh, I don't like your accent," like that guy, or he will put
Yeah.
the commenting like he has such a thick accent that I just didn't want to watch his video in a bad way. It's
Right.
not,
Right. Right.
it's not in a humorous way, or like some. He was putting it in a bad way, and you can
Yeah.
tell. I mean, from the comments. And another guy who is completely went off is just stuff like that. So like it is a challenge. In my case, it's kind of interesting because everyone is asking, "You've been here 33 years, you never lost your accent," and I said, "Well, that's how God made me. I mean,
Right.
God made me this way. Thank you, God, that I'm still breathing." I can talk, walk, and enjoy, my journey. That guys, as you are enjoying your journey, reselling is like unique thing. It's I think that each person puts into this business so much time and effort that it's like you can applaud them for doing each day, because I do work nonstop. It's reality. I
Right.
may,
Oh,
I
yeah.
may work at night. I don't sleep. I'll watch someone's content, comment. Like it's like my schedule is like my body and my workouts routine. Like I do a lot of walking and a lot of different cardio. It's like my body kind of like doesn't understand, my mind doesn't understand my body is like that it's tired, that I just fall asleep automatically. Like I would stand there like doze off altogether. But I mean, all
Tracy
of
has that.
Yeah.
Usually when we hit the bed at the end of the night, she's out in like seconds, or she's up till 3 o'clock in the morning. One of the two.
It's one or
Me,
the other.
yeah, I toss and turn.
and I can tell you guys, like people tend to, there is a lot of, unfortunately, there will be more haters. There will be more content creators who will just do content for specifically to kind of um, put someone down, or just to just feel bad. Like some of them feel good about them when they do it, and it's kind of, you can tell the demeanor. But there is a lot of content creators who, like you guys, you put out so much stuff out, which is great. And on Facebook now and stuff like that. I'm on Facebook now. Follow me on Facebook, guys. Reseller Life.
There will be links down there to all of his channels, because I'm going to
Definitely.
have him text them to me, and then I'll be able to put in the links in the description to all of those right there.
And Brian, I mean, you guys are also, thank you guys for actually giving me shout out on Facebook, because I saw that you guys actually mentioned my Reseller Life Facebook page, so that's great, appreciate it. And I mean, every time, every time someone comes out with a video, I try to catch up, because guys, how it is. YouTube is so difficult that
Yeah, very
content
much so.
content creators have to find time when they put out content. I do everything unscripted usually, which is kind of because I don't have
Right.
time to. There are so many things that I need to do. Like today was a great example. I could not find things that I sold, which is, well, it happens once in a while. Then I had a buyer from that I shipped something with eBay Global Shipping. He messaged me saying he got completely different thing. Like he got a toy. I shipped him a computer part, and he received an Elmo. And
Oh
I'm like,
no.
what the hell? Like, and I was in a storage unit at the time looking for that thing that I couldn't find. And I'm like, man, that day is not going well already. Like, so I looked at that, and he sent me photos of Elmo with a package and tracking from, like, he's from, I don't know, some kind of Europe, like Netherlands or something. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, because I know the procedure in that case. I've had it happen couple times, but not this year, thankfully. So I know the
Right.
procedures that he needs to go into order, open up, return, and select wrong item sent.
Right.
So when in global shipping situation, eBay already knows that it's something happened. It's their hub. In my case, was Illinois. So what they do is they get this return request, and they close it, because they already, what they do in those cases, when one package goes to another person, a wrong person, that package went to a wrong person, they just reimburse the seller and the buyer right away.
Yeah.
Right.
So they just
Right.
closed that return, and he got reimbursed. So he was happy. He messaged me like, "Oh, thank you very much, and can I buy this part again from you?" And I said, "I'm sorry, I don't have it anymore." So like, I couldn't do it. I mean, I feel bad that, I mean, he would not get it. But another person that was supposed to get an Elmo, he got that part. So,
It happens with everybody. I did it with a couple of video game consoles from a live show
That was on
where
him.
that was on me when I was packing the two together. I interchanged the two, because I sell, there's different ways that you could sell live, random, or you can list the items like you do on eBay. And I did random pulls that day, and I sold a Wii U and a PlayStation 4. And I ended up sending the Wii U to the guy who wanted the PlayStation. The PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 4 to the guy who wanted the Wii U. But I was lucky enough that I was able to get in contact with both of them. They both shipped the items to the other person.
Wow.
So we got lucky on that one right there. Next question.
What do you wish other sellers understood about the immigrant reselling process?
Yeah, there's a lot of resellers that are in America that are immigrants too.
Well,
and we're going to talk about one of them.
I can tell you, I'm surprised that there are not so many YouTube channels in terms of reselling space, except Paul, Philly Flipper, but Paul came here when he was very like a child. He was like, I think he was 3 maybe or something. So, I mean, for him, it was a little bit easier in a way to adjust to everything compared to me coming at 13. So like, what I would say is like, I would tell if there are some immigrant resellers that came from other countries listening to this great podcast, create your own channels. I mean, create the community, join the community. But the thing is, I think that mentality wise, it's kind of nowadays, everyone is trying to kind of, people, as you guys know, majority of people don't want to show their life. Majority of people kind of more private. Majority of people are like mind their own business. So they will of course follow everyone, for example, or follow people on any platform. But challenges for them, even if they're immigrant, I think that mentality is different. Like for me, like personally, I ask my friends, like I have good friends that are like have big like companies that resell stuff, but they do bulk type of liquidations and stuff like that. They sell to their own customers. And I asked one friend that, why don't you guys want to have a YouTube channel and show it? And he's like, no. He's like, we don't need that. I mean, there's no need for that. And it's understandable because they think differently. They're not involved much in their business that they need any social media or stuff like that. So it's like for their business, it's not necessary. They still have their own like personal, of course, social media, but they just don't get involved in social media. They're not there, and there are many of them. We got a lot of immigrants here in Cleveland that have been here for many, many years, that have their own companies, that have their own stores, and they just they don't view YouTube in their mind as necessity for them to do it, even though there are a lot of Russian content creators that do it for Russian audiences, like Russian speaking, which have great, like a lot of success. I know some that my brother always points out in Florida. There is a guy that has a lot of subscribers, I think over 100,000, and he does it in Russian. So he does it for Russian speaking audience, and he buys storage units. But his content is kind of, you can tell it's clickbaity, which is kind of what a lot of storage unit buyers do.
Right.
Not you guys, not me, but there are some.
I haven't learned how to do it yet because I mean, we just passed the 1,000 subscriber mark at the beginning.
Yeah, congratulations, by the way, guys. It's a big achievement. Big achievement.
We've only been on for 9 years, so
9 years and getting to 1,000 subscribers, Brian, is a big achievement. It's gonna take me and Enaman about how long it's gonna take us to get to 2,000 subscribers? Tell me the truth. Keep my YouTube channel running. Enaman looked at me and said, "You're lost. You're not gonna get any more subscribers, my friend. Sorry."
Well, there's ways that one of the things that I've learned a lot, like because we have a tremendous growth on Whatnot. We're Whatnot live sellers, and Roman knows this. We've had tremendous growth on there. That did not turn over in here, but it's organic growth. There's ways that you can grow. We've grown organically on this podcast and on our channel here just by putting out content and trying to be informative and have fun and doing those things. I could buy promotions. I could ask some of the big content creators that are out there to help us out and put us on. But that's not going to help me, because just getting followers isn't going to do that, the monetary thing that a lot of people are trying to strive for. I'm not trying to strive for that.
Additionally, I don't want to be a content creator as my job. I love reselling.
Yeah,
absolutely
love the reselling part of it. We just do this.
I'll fiddle
because
around
this is
with
fun.
it at night when I'm bored. That's when I get on social media and make some posts and things. But that's not what I want to do for my job.
Yeah, and we love doing this because one of my really good friends, who's also a really good friend to Roman, he loves being the seasonal Santa, and he'll say he does it for a selfish reason because it makes him feel good. I'm doing this podcast for a selfish reason. I learn from this podcast. I've learned from all of the guests that we have had on the podcast, and I take a little nugget of it and I say, "Whoa, I love that part. I'm going to use that in our business model." So that's the reason why we do that. What's that? Which one?
Go with 12.
Go to 12?
Yeah.
Okay. What advice would you've chinged now twice. Okay. I haven't chinged at all. She chinged twice. Okay. What advice would you give to a new immigrant reseller who feels overwhelmed, stuck, or unsure of where to begin?
I think it refers to maybe even not immigrant, maybe, because I think each person, if they want to get into, say, this particular business, they need, right, especially nowadays, because it's changed a lot. The good advice would be to consider not, leave if they have a job, not to leave the job if it pays them money and they still kind of like the job. So do not leave the job. So advice would be, uh, if they want to get into this kind of reselling, I think that future right now, in a way, it has to be something like, I would, be kind of towards live selling more in a way, because this way, in my opinion, you can get rid of a lot of inventory if possible, if you have, of course, certain amount of following eventually. But I think even without following, to start it and try it first to see if it's going to be successful, because not a lot of people, it's not for a lot of people in reality, live selling, it's not, and it's true. But I think advice would be to just try to understand, first of all, if they can have enough money to invest into some kind of bulk type of buying. Maybe they can buy some kind of, I don't know, inventory, which is going to be, which will have somewhat high, not high, but I would say decent sell-through rate. And try to go this way in the beginning, compared to how I started, where I would have items that did not have a good sell-through rate and would sit around for a while. But I invested money into it throughout the time. I would not spend a lot of money on inventory. So that would be also good advice, is to try to find sources for anyone, not just an immigrant, to find sources where you can find cheaper inventory, especially nowadays with promotions and upcoming eBay change with promotion and stuff like that. I think it's all gonna depend, and I already talked to a bunch of resellers here locally, that sourcing is going to be the most important part now, because you need to have places to source. If you are buying from thrift stores, it's possible to kind of, it depends on where you are, state, city, but the cheaper inventory you're going to find, I think that's the best route with upcoming future changes to platforms, because Poshmark has been changing, because I'm selling on Poshmark all the time. Mercari has been changing. eBay will change eventually into different.
eBay right now is starting to do their live, and they're ramping it up. They're ramping it up a lot.
It's gonna be interesting to see. So that's what my advice would be for, like, not just immigrant resellers, but whoever's coming on to the scene. It's gonna be a little bit different nowadays, because I think possibly it's not going to be as many resellers altogether when it was COVID time, because people were out of work and doing that stuff.
Right.
Maybe it's going to be less, possibly, in upcoming years. But the most important part is sourcing in this situation, because
Right.
storage units is one way, of course, but you need to invest money same way as you're gonna invest money into some kind of bulk buying. So if you're gonna buy in bulk, it's gonna cost you certain amount of money to buy a pellet of something if you find the proper source, not some kind of
Right.
scammer. Same way as storage units, like you're gonna invest in a bigger unit, like bigger size possibly, that you will see on the photos that, as you guys know, you're very familiar, that possibly may have some kind of good stuff in there. And then you're gonna invest in it thinking, yes, we're gonna move that stuff faster on live selling, let you guys do other stuff. We're gonna put selective stuff on eBay and that will sell
Right.
for more money. And same way, sourcing wise, beans sourcing is, in my opinion, right now, Goodwill beans is gonna be probably the best, because the way you find stuff and differs all over United States. The way
Mm-hmm.
you pay by weight and how much stuff you can get, especially with all the fees and stuff like that, it's gonna be the way, in my opinion, for some places, for some people, to source that way, to spend less money,
You
so
want
they
to know
can,
something funny? We
yes.
don't have a bins here.
Mm-mm. Our
Our
closest one is Nashville.
our closest bin is in Nashville, Tennessee, or the only other one that I know of is in Savannah. And actually,
That's
Nashville
further.
is closer to us than Savannah is, and we live in Atlanta.
And
So
I
it's
can tell you
unbelievable.
guys, yes, that is gonna be a lot of podcasts discuss it, and channels discuss it, and I always say, like, that all is based on how you source. And each person, when they start out, of course, there will be advice: sell stuff from your home, sell stuff from your friends. If they give you
Right.
some stuff for free, some people get a lot of free stuff. But
Oh yeah,
the question that always is this free stuff, does it have decent sell-through rate? You don't want to clog up your entire, like, storage, or like if you have place at home, or if you live in an apartment or house, you're gonna clog up so much space with that stuff that may not sell fast. And then you're gonna try to, say, like, why am I'm not making any money, this stuff not selling, so I'll have to lower the prices, be competitive, sell it much cheaper. It will sell most likely eventually, but none of us as resellers everywhere, we cannot guarantee any day that we're gonna find those types of items that have a great sell-through rate, because
Mm-mm.
yeah,
there is no guarantee of that. Even if you buy storage unit, if you buy bulk liquidation, if you go to thrift store or estate sale, garage sale, there is no guarantee, because there's, in reality, as you guys probably already familiar, we are all resellers, but we're all competitors. So, like, competition is going to be always existing in this space. So every reseller that you see at the bins will be competing against you to find better stuff for them, because they are also knowledgeable, and they already know what type of stuff they know that's going to sell fast. So you're
hmm
going to have competition. The bins is a perfect example. I go all the time, so I see that all the time. You can be friends, you talk about similar things reselling wise, you love that, you love that, you love that platform, you love that. But in reality, competition, it happens all the time. It means you see it instantly. Everyone is running, everyone
yeah.
is trying to get the stuff. And some places are more nasty, of course. Some cities here, it's thankfully it's not, it's peaceful. So
Fort Lauderdale's crazy.
I've seen
It
other.
is absolutely nuts down in South Florida. Oh my gosh,
My brother
it's
lives
crazy.
down there.
Well,
Yeah.
uh, awesome answers to those questions, Roman. That was great. I hope that if you are a listener, that you learned something from that, because there was a lot of great information in there. Now it's our what's up, and Roman literally almost talked this whole part through. It's fourth quarter, guys, and it is in full swing. This is where we talk about something that's going on in reselling in general. A lot of resellers and content creators are branching out. They're trying new selling platforms, and they're experimenting with new, fresh ideas on YouTube to attract more viewers because of that competition that Roman was talking about. With all this change, some drama has naturally started popping up in the reselling community, and a few people are feeling pulled in different directions. Now, Roman, do you think that because of the down economy, the high tariffs, and this drive to try to get the buyers, do you think that resellers and content creators are struggling a little bit?
I think that content creators who do everything the right way and have done it for a while, most likely will not realistically, struggle making certain amount of money. I think the channels that have done it the right way from the beginning and grew throughout a certain amount of time for years, they'll be okay, in my opinion. If the person loves what they're doing and with content, that's fine.
Yeah.
In reselling, I think it all gonna, like I said already, it will depend on how you source, because there are so many places in the United States, like there are resellers all over the world. But if we're talking about United States, is there enough opportunity for each individual person on how they source, what kind of places they have to source? Now with fourth quarter, it may affect some people that may not have sales. I never complain. Some days I have like really slow, like very bad, small amount of sales. Some days I have good amount of sales. So it's like eBay for me personally, it jumps like day to day. Maybe like
Right.
very good day one day, and then really bad day second day, then again. So it's like up and down for me personally. But my inventory, for example, that I am listing can differ from everyone else. So everyone else has different types of inventory, different types of uh, strategies, how they do advertising, how they do promotions, how they do coupons, how they send offers, what times, similar to content. So in my opinion, I don't think in reality with high, I think it's actually true. The items that have good sales rate and people need, they'll keep selling.
Right.
Even at smaller discount, they'll keep selling. The people with content, I mean, with good kind of big YouTube channels, in my opinion, that's my personal opinion. Everyone's opinions are different. With YouTube channels that have a lot of subscribers, that constantly on social media advertising their eBay stores, advertising their live sales, that's marketing for them. That will improve their sales anyway. They don't need to promote on eBay in reality. They don't need to do all that send offer stuff, all stuff like that, because that's my opinion that they have a lot of eyes on them. So they will keep selling their stuff. In my opinion, no matter how the economy turns, it may be even if it's a bad economy, they'll still be selling something, even somewhat a lot of items. I mean, some days for people with no social media. See, you got cha-ching because of that.
No, not me. That was her. Okay. It wasn't her. My phone is silent right now. My phone is silent.
Sorry.
Tracy's economy is good right now.
Yeah. Brian's economy is not.
So that's why I think the difference will always be, there is always going to be this fight about this. The fight will be over each individual business model. And of course, there are a lot of jealous people, unfortunately, in the world, not just in the reselling space. And it's tough. Like, I feel like, bigger channels with that attention, they constantly are out there. They live in this YouTube or social media world. There is always eyes on them. They always say stuff. People try to comment on someone else's videos about them all over the place. If that's only one person, like I do this all on my own, and I don't put my family through this role, so they're like completely out of it. That kind of thing for me, I like that guy, for example. It kind of, in a way, at my age, I already understand people are like that all over the place. But to make a video like that, to make a point that this particular person is narcissistic and he only cares about what his ideas are about his reselling business, and then he can just put down everyone, say stuff about everyone, about their nationality, religion, and nobody gonna talk about him about this part. nobody gonna talk about this part because and he will keep doing it. He's like, all right, nobody cares about this much, so I'll just keep doing this stuff all over the place. So you have to put stop,
Unfortunately.
you have to put stop to it at some point, like, and then that person hopefully realizes,
We have a cat literally chewing the crap out of a box right
That's
down
the
here.
noise
She
you
is
hear.
eating the box. Okay.
my cat is sleeping over here. She's
Well, we got one of them walking behind us back and forth. He keeps going back and forth. That's our cat Archie. He's on this side now over here.
yeah,
The new one is the kitten that we just got.
I don't want to wake her up to show you guys, but she's sleeping. She's like,
No, let him asleep. Let him asleep.
I will
yeah,
share
so
some-
I can tell you guys, and you're familiar with it. This will never end. The drama will never end. I always said in the videos, what brings views? Drama brings views. Unfortunately,
Yep.
Unfortunately, yeah.
you can put it in any perspective. Unfortunately, people for some reason are attracted to view the drama videos, thumbnails that may potentially be clickbait, but people will click to just see like, oh, there is something dramatic in there. We're gonna look at it, It's kind of
I mean, we're all guilty of that. When we hear that there's some kind of drama, we all go over and we watch the video and we try to figure out what's happening. I mean,
exactly, and that's what's gonna. And a lot of content creators who have succeeded in this space specifically, not just reselling, maybe other spaces, whatever. They learned that you can create to a certain degree. It's a clickbait type of video, but at the same time, it's a informative video too. It's
Here comes our little kitten.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's a beauty. I love cats, man. I love.
By the way, this is Miss Jack.
Missy Jack.
Missy Jack is what
Miss
we named
Jack.
her.
Where's Mr. Jack at? I was trying to find them to give me some bulk inventory right now. So that's the thing, guys. I can tell you, I really appreciate you guys. I know you guys are tired of me already.
Not at all.
But
not at all. But that was, I mean, that what you're saying is definitely true. And if that's how you want to grow your channel, then that far be it. Go ahead. I mean, you do you is what I always go by. We choose not to do that with ours. I don't try to do. I do try to get clickbaity with my stuff, but
we try to do it in a funny way.
We try to do it so, and actually, I learned that from you. I learned that from you because you have some of the best videos out there. That if you're having a bad day, you're having that day where nothing is selling, or your wife is selling everything, and you're not selling anything like mine right now. I just go ahead and I'll watch one of Roman's videos, and you just naturally will have that. But I definitely can see that point. This is our Shine the Light program, part of our episode, where we're going to shine the light on 3 different sellers at 3 different levels of live reselling. These are all on Whatnot, because basically that's where we are right now.
Our new seller this week is Auctionsmiths. They are fairly new Whatnot sellers. They've had 633 sales and they have 391 followers. They're going against the grain by not having a ton of shows, but instead having shows with higher quality items. They seem to have a little bit of everything to sell.
Yep. And they were the ones that actually reached out to us watching these videos to learn about shipping.
Yeah, had some shipping questions.
I definitely sent her over to Tracy because I don't know jack about shipping. Our next growing seller is Betty, Cajun Queen 2011. This is the one of our first right here. She was a newer seller when we started highlighting people, and now she has gone up to the growing seller level with 2,000 sales, 3,000 followers, and we take full responsibility for her growth. No, not really. She's just an amazing seller, and she has super fun shows.
And we just love Betty.
Yes, we do.
And our established seller this week is Inga. She sells under the name Inga on Whatnot. She's a Whatnot seller with 50,700 sales and 49,200 followers.
Unbelievable.
She's an everything seller who has awesome shows. She does estate sales, pallet purchases, and storage units. She was the co-host of the Battle of the Roosters last week and is also from Lithuania.
Yeah, I found out that she's from Lithuania and somebody who may be a guest coming up pretty soon.
And she might be my whatnot crush. I'm just saying. She's beautiful.
Inga is very, very awesome, and she's a super nice person. She did a dance with her daughter. You remember that?
Yes, I do remember that.
I forget what was this. There was something going around on TikTok or something like that, and they did the dance on that, which was absolutely phenomenal. We're going to have links down below in the description to all of these amazing sellers, plus all of Roman's links that he's going to send to me.
And now it is time for normally my favorite part of the episode, but I have to admit I'm a little scared this week.
Yeah, I am too. You know what? We might not want to do this. We're running a little bit long right here, but nah, we got to do it.
This is where we turn the tables and we allow our guests to ask any question they would like to ask of JacksTreasures. It can be reselling related or not.
I gotta go now. I'm really feeling bad. So go ahead, Roman, fire away.
First question now, guys. Mr. Jack, come out. Mr. Jack, do you need a new job?
I might.
You guys, well, Brian, you were a teacher in the past, and I would ask you, because this is more interesting for me. Did you actually study to be a teacher originally when you were in school? You want to become a teacher?
No, not at all. How I became a teacher, I went into the Navy and after 4 years of being out of high school. And when I went to the recruiting office, it was actually funny because I went to a funeral of a friend, and it was someone that I grew up with when I was a little kid, and their father had passed away, and the friend was in the Navy. So I went to the funeral, and they had the American flag laid out on the coffin, and he was up in his Navy uniform. And I said, wow, I really, really love that. I think that's an amazing thing. And it touched me a little bit. And so I said, you know what? I want to join the reserves. And now I was out of high school for 4 years. And I went to the recruiting office and I said, how long is the boot camp for just going in the reserves? He says, oh, it's the same as going in for 4 years. And so I said, well, I'll go in for 4 years. And so I went in for 4 years and I became a firefighter. I was a firefighter, welder, and an instructor of firefighting. So when I got out of the military, I went and I applied to become a firefighter. I even became an EMT. I was a licensed EMT in the state of Georgia. And I never did work in it because, believe it or not, I couldn't afford the pay cut. So God bless all of those people that are EMTs, because I literally would have taken almost a $10 pay cut. And I was working at a stair company building stairs for a living. So I said, well, I'm not going to, let me go and be a fireman. And I applied for a job. They rejected me. And they rejected me because they said, you have prior drug use. And I said, that's when I was 18. I've been in the Navy. I was in the Navy for 4 years. I said, you do understand this. I was in the Navy. I fought fires in the Navy while I was in the Navy. We didn't have an actual fire on our ship, but we had to go to training, and I'll tell you one thing. They love to burn stuff. I don't know what it is about the Navy. They love to burn shit. Okay. So I was like, but you're going to reject me. Now they would have taken me in a heartbeat because they don't have enough firefighters. And so I said, well, what was the other thing that I liked? And I said, I loved instructing, because I got to a higher rank when I got out of the military. And so I was teaching them how to do firefighting and things like that on the ship. So I said, well, I'll be a teacher. And I loved history. I've always been a history buff. I love World War II. My brother gave me a book, the illustrated history of World War II. And I just absolutely loved it. So I became a teacher at that point. I said, that was my next career move.
Wow, it's interesting. Yeah, history teachers out there listening.
That's the one thing I have in common with Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker, is that we were both history teachers. And believe it or not, we both started at the same year. We both started in 99 to 2000. He lasted 2 years longer than I did. I lasted 18 years. And I think he might have done 21 years before it finally just got to a point where the love of teaching, it'll drive it out of you, because you can't become a teacher for the money. There's none there. You're not going to do it because the time off, and everybody thinks, oh yeah, you got all these summers off. No, you don't. Okay. And you're working late hours all of the time. And it was actually a conversation that Kevin and I had when we met him at the Tennessee meetup, or Nashville meetup, I'm sorry. And I just asked him about that. I said, what was the breaking point? Because I know what my breaking point was, and found out what his was too. So it's one of those things. It's a calling. You have to have that calling to be a teacher. And I had it, but they just drove it out of me.
Very interesting. Well, let me ask you guys. Were you a teacher, or were you a teacher? Or were you both resellers right away? No, we're resellers. We're not the teachers.
Did you have a question for Tracy?
Yes, Tracy. Tracy is like so experienced with reselling, so I'm afraid. So Tracy, what?
She's got more than I do. I can promise you that. She's been doing it a long time.
Personally, Tracy, how? Actually, a couple of questions. What were you doing before you were doing reselling?
Nothing. I was 17 years old. I worked at Blockbuster Video.
Oh, there's a story with that too. Okay, there's a story with that. Now remember, she said she was 17 years old and she was working at Blockbuster Video.
We lived in the same town, and he rented from that Blockbuster Video all the time. And he was 15 years older than me and married. And I'm sure I rented him videos.
Oh yeah.
We obviously don't remember each other at that time, but yeah. I've resold my entire adult life.
Where else did you work at the mall?
I did work at the pretzel place in the mall when I was 15.
Well, that kind of completely takes a lot of my mind. I thought you were a teacher too. So like,
No.
I'm a full-time reseller, and I've done it since eBay started, basically.
Go ahead and tell them what you tell everybody about corporate work. Or
I'm not cut out for it. I mean, I am ADHD. I have anxieties and things like that. And working in an environment where I have to get up and be somewhere every day, and I have to deal with people one way or another, it just wouldn't work for me.
Same. I did work in a corporate environment. It worked out for a little bit. Later on, it didn't. What was the most disgusting thing that you ever found in a storage unit?
There's several of them. I think we'll mention the ground beef this time. That was interesting. You know those tubes of ground beef they sell in the store?
Oh, man,
yeah. Somebody just stuck it in a box. And
yeah, it wasn't in a refrigerator.
No,
because
it was in a box.
Everybody knows, they've watched Storage Wars. They know, they see them when they open up those refrigerators in the inside of the unit, that they never open it up on the inside of the unit. They take it out, and you want to take it outside.
And we've had stuff in there, but this was a roll of ground beef in a box.
Oh man, I can imagine it stayed there for probably so long that it probably had.
I will never forget the smell.
Yeah,
never forget the smell.
I can smell it right now. I can smell it already, like the smell. Oh my god! So what do you guys? Question also for both of you. What do you guys think when you are? I know you guys gave some great advice about storage units, which actually is good content because I do enjoy that.
None of our other content he enjoys. None of it. He literally just said that.
I don't know. I think he's our biggest fan.
Yeah. I watch, I try to, when I watch videos, I try to put out like a big comment, as you guys learned. And like when I have time to do that, like today I watched a video about Facebook, I wrote a big comment there. So like if you don't see my long comment yet, I probably didn't watch it yet, so you have to like.
And it may be that you got blocked by YouTube, and I just haven't gone in and did the moderation
that happened
stuff.
to Archie Biscuit.
Archie's comments get blocked almost every time.
Never get through to us.
Yeah, I don't understand. But what do you guys like? How do you describe situation with storage units? Like when you guys wanna say you look at the unit and you think that it's possible that this particular unit may go up in bidding like very high, or you think it's probably not gonna go that high. How do you determine that? Do you look like at specific photos of the unit, pictures that you may determine that nowadays, like that you have
This is a great question, and I'm going to let Tracy start.
I will sit and I will zoom and I will search and I will look in every inch of those pictures. If I'm really interested in a unit, I will probably sit and look at that unit for an hour, trying to just find little tips. I also do, sometimes I'm able to find who owned the unit based on newspaper publishing and things like that.
Yeah.
I'll try to look up the person who owned the unit, see if I can learn something about them. But I would say I feel like I probably research them a lot harder than most people do.
And then she sends them to me.
And then I send them to him.
And she sends it to me and she says, I got a couple of units that I want you to look at. So I'll look at the units and I just glance them over. I'm like the one that looks in for the shiny object. Let me look for the shiny object. I want to see the shiny object. And she'll tell me, she'll say, well, this one, like one of the units that we got about 2 weeks ago, had this big GI Joe sword on the front, and you could see it, and you could see that the box was there. And I said, oh, okay. And for us I'm usually the one that determines what I think the unit's going to do. And I'll say, well, okay, this one's got two mattresses in it right there. We might be able to get this one for a steal because in the state of Georgia, you have to pay extra to get rid of mattresses. And I know in California, it's atrociously high. To get rid of mattresses in California. So we'll look at that unit and I'll say, well, you know what? I look at the size of the unit first, and I'll look to see how neatly the boxes are stacked. Are they boxes that are like from a liquor store? Because you can get those for free. Or are they boxes that they bought? If they're boxes that they bought, those units are generally going to have better merchandise in them because the people care about the stuff that was in the units right there. And then the first thing I do is I say, do I think that there's going to be rats in that unit? Is there going to be food in that unit?
Yep.
You know, and I'll look at it and I'll say, well, I don't really see that. So we're going to bid on it. Swing and a miss. There was rats in the units and there was rat droppings all over everything. But we do well anyway. On that. We generally will look at the unit that way. And then we sit down and have developed, okay, what's my cap that I'm willing to pay on that unit? What do I see? And what do I think?
He makes his cap, and then I know in the back of my head that it's at least going to be $100 more than that by the time we're all said and done.
Well, that's only because you get into what I call that it's mine mentality. When I start bidding on a unit, I sit there and I think, okay, I'm bidding against other people. I'm bidding against Roman, for instance. Where do I think Roman's cap is? What do I think Roman's doing right now? Is this person trying to drive me up? Am I going to drop it on him, or are they going to drop it on me? And so we do a lot of that, and I will definitely get a good feel for that. There's also one other thing that she didn't mention. She'll say these words to me, and I don't care what I'm buying that unit. I have a feeling. When she says I have a feeling, she is batting 1,000. She has not missed on any of her feelings yet. Me, I have a feeling. Yeah, we got a rat unit. Yeah, we got droppings. Yeah, we got a homeless guy's unit and that who's living in the unit.
Oh, that one was fun.
That one was fun, you know. But it's sort of a great mix. And the good thing is that there is two of us. Yeah. Where you said that it's just you that's doing this. You have to have trust in your abilities to look at those things and to be able to say, can I move them? Where am I going to move them? And what am I going to do with the stuff that I can't do anything with? And that's the one thing.
All right.
You know, that was a great question.
Last question. Maybe it's maybe good question, because I know you guys are already tired and want to check out where
we have one question for you, but go ahead.
All right. One question for you before you ask me. When you bid on units, do you specifically deliberately sometimes wait until like say like 30 seconds
to add time?
30 seconds left to bid to add
do
time?
I do that? It depends. It depends on what I think the other person is. If I'm okay, are you mostly on JacksTreasures?
Yes.
Okay, on JacksTreasures, once it gets below 3 minutes, it adds another full 3 minutes. So if it goes down to 2 minutes and 55 seconds and somebody bids on it, they just kicked it up to 5 minutes left on that unit. So at that point, I'm like, well, that's an inexperienced buyer or somebody that I don't think is, I don't want to use the term
being a jerk.
Okay. So at that point, I'll wait till the very last minute and I'll bid at that point. Well, and knowing that he's going to bid it again, and I don't care because I don't want the unit at that point.
But most
I
of the
get annoyed
time,
with that.
Most of the time when we're like just serious bidding, we're bidding usually at about the 4-minute mark. It's like we're going to get in before it adds time, but not leave as much time
and
for them to come back.
I do, depending on the unit and depending on, I'll look to see how many people have looked at the unit and how many people have bid on the unit. If it's Locker Fox, you can actually see who's all of the bidders are.
Right.
And so I will look at it and I'll say, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a proxy bid and I'll say, okay, let's say the unit's at 250. I'm going to go ahead and say, we're going to go to 800. Well, my first bid will be 620. Okay. And so then what I've done is now people are going to start bidding and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this guy's got a proxy bid in there. He must really want this unit. I don't want to get stuck with it. I'm going to bid him up, but I don't want to get stuck with it. So they hit their cap and then they generally stop bidding at that point. That saved us a lot of money sometimes, and sometimes it didn't. Sometimes they would go past that and I would bid again.
So you guys think it's a really bad move if someone waits until like say 20 seconds and bids, right?
I don't mind the 20 seconds as much as I do the ones that do it like 2 seconds after 3.
Like 2 minutes and 58
it's 2 minutes
seconds.
and 58 seconds and they bid. I'm like, dude, you could have bid 20 seconds before that, because I never bid right at the 3-minute mark. I never do that. I'm usually bidding at about, like Tracy said, about the 4-minute mark. I'll sit there and I'll say, okay, drop the bid right now, and let's go ahead and take care of some of this stuff. But I mean, when you do it at that, and now I'm not talking about somebody who's trying to bid at before the 3 minutes. I'm talking about the one where it's like 2 minutes and 45 seconds and then they bid. I said, you just dropped it, made this thing 5 minutes, man. I mean, come on. We've bid on units that were supposed to end at 12 o'clock and we were bidding on it at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's man, that means that there are a lot of eyes on that unit, probably, as you guys
that
know.
was the most expensive unit though that we ever bought,
right.
And that was like the $8,000 unit that we bought in Nashville.
That's crazy. I mean, that's kind of, you can understand, because people that are experienced storage unit buyers, they can sometimes you can't tell, but I can already know, like if you see, say you see boxes from Home Depot, bought like the boxes that you buy at Home Depot with Home Depot brand, those possibly may have some decent stuff in them.
My favorite are the black and yellows. Black and yellow tubs.
Yeah, black and yellow tubs. Either the tubs that are black on the base with yellow or red on the top.
Right.
We're going to generally go for those and stuff like that. Well, thank you to our amazing guest, Roman, aka Reseller Life. We have not confirmed our next guest, but we're still working on Ben, the Rocky Top picker. Ben was actually sick, so get well soon, Ben. I know he just got back from a long trip. Bernard, the Big Fishing Family, is another one whose son was successfully gotten a kidney transplant and should be coming home today, as a matter of fact.
Awesome.
So that is great. And of course, we are working on the person who's not been mentioned today.
He has not been
mentioned today. That would be Josh and Haley of Harry Tornado. And we do have a very super special guest for December. We are actually trying to work on getting Santa Claus. Yes, the man, the myth, the legend. We are going to bring him to JacksTreasures. What? Not another reselling podcast.
And our very last question is the same that we have for everybody. What does the future hold for Roman, the Reseller Life?
Yes.
The future right now, I think that I will try to, improve my, not even sourcing, but I will try to improve my stuff that I buy and stuff that I think will sell faster compared to, like, I sometimes will always do I will still buy stuff that takes longer time to sell, and it was always in the back of my mind, I should stop doing it, but I couldn't escape it. So in the future, I think I should start doing that, buying things that, and I don't pay much anyway because a lot of it is from the bins, but still, it doesn't matter. You don't want to clog up your inventory. So
Right.
improving on items for me personally in my own reselling business that sell faster. That's I think that I need to work on it more for the future to improve it, because as much as I want to jump out and get so much success, because this year it was great. I bought more storage units this year. I, do a lot of other things on my own that is like stuff that sometimes people will ask how much like energy do you still have or time, but hopefully, it will improve in upcoming years, because in reality, it's we do a lot of work, and you guys are familiar with it, and it takes out a lot of energy. And I felt it this year, maybe because I got a little bit older compared to like 3 years ago, where I would do those things. I would not really get tired, but now I feel it like in reality, like I feel it,
Yeah.
and it is how it is. I mean,
Yeah.
that's reseller
We
life.
need to get Roman on Whatnot and live selling. That's what my goal is for 2026, is for Roman to have a live show on Whatnot.
We're gonna do some t-shirts, guys. We're gonna sell Animan. Come over to the Whatnot show. The starting bid will be $500. It's a special edition one that has Animan on the back.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And thanks to everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Help us out with Stop Soldier Suicide and the Naughty Cat Cafe. There are links down below for that, as well as links for Roman and all the other resellers we mentioned today, including Kevin the Commonwealth Picker.
Yep.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah. Thank you, Roman. We really do appreciate it. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Oh, my gosh. Come on.